Hey everybody, welcome to RedZone. Shaun and Mike here. This is week 7 of our predictions. With the bye weeks, week 7 is actually halfway point.
Yeah.
So we're at the halfway point. It's unbelievable that we're already halfway.
It's every year this happens.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It goes quick. Yeah.
So last week was not a very good week again. I was 9-12. You were 7-14. Overall, we are both 63-64 for the season. That's not good.
Gotta get better.
It's just not. We've got to get better. Last 3 weeks have been pretty bad. We're not the only ones. It's hit everybody. The picks have been pretty bad across the board for everybody. So
here's the thing, though. Like we mention every year, every month, really, not every episode because it would get old, but we're fans. We're just fans of the sport. And we like to talk.
We're not professional gamblers. We are just fans, and we make our picks. This is for entertainment. You do what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So
don't go betting on our picks. We just like picking games.
We do this for fun, and we are the earliest ones every week to put out picks. I mean, it's with the opening numbers. So. Right. So, I mean, like I said, we're not professional gamblers. So you guys do what you want with the information we have and with our opinions. And, you know, so anyway, let's just get into it because we have 25 games to pick. We just want to we'll get through this. First one, Syracuse versus NC State. NC State, 3.5-point favorite. By the way, all the numbers locked in, 9 p.m. Sunday night, October, what is today, 5th, 4th, whatever, 5th. Sunday night, 5th. Okay. Yeah. So locked in 9 p.m. That's what we're going by. NC State, 3.5-point favorite. Shaun, what do you think?
I'm gonna just take the home team in this. I don't ever really know with NC State or Syracuse. Yeah. I think I have them pegged, but I'll just go with NC State.
I'm gonna go with NC State as well. Syracuse is traditionally not very good on the road. Yeah. Kind of doing the stuff before any of the spreads came out. I thought this was going to be about a 4-point in NC State's favor. So 3.5. It's right. I was pretty close on the money, and so I think NC State can cover this.
Yeah. Although last time I picked NC State, they failed me
against West Virginia. Yeah, we both missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, let's move on to the next one. Number 20, Virginia is at Miami. Miami, 1.5-point favorite. Surprisingly, they were a 13-point favorite last week, 13.5-point favorite against Virginia Tech, and looked pretty rough last week. So.
And just if anybody watched the Virginia Tech Miami game, if you're a Virginia Tech fan, give Dusty Dvorak and his partner some just a bit of a break there. I know you like to think the world's against you, but I can promise you, Dusty Dvorak's from Oklahoma. He played at Oklahoma. He's a good dude who just loves college football, and he gets excited. Traditionally with the bigger teams, he probably gets a little bit more excited. But Justin Fuentes, you know, they played, I'm pretty sure they played on the same team together. I'm not 100% sure about that, but they both played in the early 2000s for the Sooners. And Dusty's a good dude who likes college football. Enough of that. Man, I don't know. I picked Miami last week, you Miami fans out there, because I felt good about them, but I don't know. No week do I feel good about them anymore. This is at home, so it's a little tougher. They traditionally say, you know, anything more than or less than 3 points, just go with the home team. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna go with Virginia. I don't want to overreact on this. No, I'm gonna take Miami. I'll take Miami for a second week. Please don't let me down.
Okay. I'm not. I'm taking Virginia. So
I know you are.
Virginia, I think, is legit being a top 25 team. I think they are on the fast track to probably win their division in the ACC. Probably going to face Clemson in the championship game. So I'm sold on Virginia. I like what they've done. They lost to Notre Dame, but, you know, kept it respectable. They beat Pitt. I think they're tested. They know what they need to do. They go down there to Miami, and Miami's just all over the place. Never did I ever expect Miami's defense to give up 42 points to Virginia Tech that was basically shut out by Duke. Yeah. So there's no way I'll take Miami. I'm going to take Duke, or I'm going to take Virginia in this.
I'll take this as a response game for Miami that they turn around. But I will say both teams are scoring 32 points, and both teams are giving up about 21. Now there's a decimal spot there, but it's just you look at both teams and it's like pretty crazy.
Okay. Next game, Colorado is at Oregon. Oregon, a 20.5-point favorite. What do you think?
I'm going to take Oregon in this.
Okay.
Colorado burned me last time, and
Yeah.
I'll take Oregon.
When I worked all this out, I had Oregon as an 11-point favorite. I think 20 is way too much. Oregon kind of struggled against Cal last week. They really had no offense until the fourth quarter. It was just an ugly game, and Cal has a really good defense. I know they're at Oregon. I know Colorado's not a great team. They're okay, but 20.5 is too much for me, so I'll take Colorado.
Okay.
All right, next one, Cincinnati is at Houston. Cincinnati is a 5.5-point favorite. Before the spreads came out, I had this worked out as Cincinnati being a 2-point favorite. So I should take Houston this, but I'm not going to, because the last time I picked against Cincinnati, it was just, bit me in the butt. Without Derek King, it's a different Houston team. So some of the numbers and averages leading up to this, which work out in the formula, are skewed because they don't have him now. So I think Cincinnati covers the 5.5.
Yeah, I do too. It's, one touchdown. Cincinnati has been good, and there's a reason they're ranked, and Houston just maybe looking forward to next year.
Yeah. Next game, South Carolina is at Georgia. Georgia is a 24.5-point favorite. Originally thought this worked out as Georgia being a 13-point favorite. I'm going to go ahead and pick first. I'm taking South Carolina to cover. I think Georgia wins the game, but I saw a little bit of problems in the first half with Georgia against Tennessee. Part of that, I think, was Tennessee starting that true freshman quarterback that Georgia hadn't prepared for. So I think they got caught a little bit off guard. But I think South Carolina is a good enough of a team that they can cover 24.5.
Yeah, and at Tennessee, it's kind of weird because that stadium, you feel like Tennessee could be in any game at the beginning, at the very beginning, just because of how crazy loud their fans are. If they get any, I think they may have scored the first touchdown.
They did.
And those fans, just for that little short time, they're believers.
Well, they were up 14-13 at one point. So,
yeah, yeah. So, but Georgia, they're tied for third here in the AP. They've got to keep winning and win big. This would be a nice win for them. 20, what did we say?
24.5.
24.5. I don't like point spreads that big when I know that South Carolina could score some points, but I'll take Georgia. That's just my gut call there.
Okay, Mississippi State, 6.5-point favorite against Tennessee. What do you think?
I'm going to take Mississippi State.
Okay, when I worked it out, I thought that Mississippi State was about a 4-point favorite. I don't think Tennessee loses every game. I think that true freshman quarterback gives them a little bit of a spark. It's another home game. I think they feel a little bit more confident knowing that they stuck with Georgia for a half. And Mississippi State's not that great. So I'm going to take Tennessee in this to, if anything, cover the points. So I'm going to take Tennessee.
They did beat Kentucky 28-13 just 2 weeks ago. That was at home. And you got to think Kentucky's better than Tennessee. And then Tennessee just, they're Tennessee.
So you're sticking with Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'll stick with Mississippi
All right.
State.
Michigan is a 19-point favorite against Illinois. When you do all the math, Michigan was about a 4-point favorite, but Brandon Peters got knocked out of the game against Minnesota, completely changed Illinois completely. No offense whatsoever with any of their backups. They just got decimated by Minnesota. Illinois really had the advantage early, until he got knocked out. I don't think he's going to play this week. We still have a whole week to go. I didn't hear exactly what the injury is. I'm going to assume he's not playing. So if he's not playing, I think Michigan covers the 19.
Did we have it at 19?
It's 19.
Yes, 19. Man, Michigan's just such an up and down team. I know Iowa's got a good defense, but struggling to put points on the board. I don't know. 20 just seems like a big number to a team that could struggle again offensively. So I'll take Illinois to cover. I do think that Michigan wins the game, maybe by 2 touchdowns, but 20 just seems like a lot for a team that just, I don't know, it just hasn't figured it out offensively quite yet.
Okay. And they are going on the road, but it's not that far for them. But anyway, but Maryland, a 5.5-point favorite at Purdue. When I did the math, I had Maryland as a 14-point favorite, so this spread is a lot lower than I expected. What do you think?
I'm going to take Maryland in this one. Purdue just has not impressed at all this year. I don't know. I had higher hopes for Purdue, but Maryland just looks like the head and shoulders better team here.
Purdue doesn't have a very good defense, and Maryland has shown that, yes, they can lay an egg, but oftentimes against a bad defense, they can score a lot too.
Yeah.
5.5, I think, is way too low of a spread. I'd jump all over this and say that Maryland easily covers this.
Yeah, Purdue's on a 3-game losing streak. Maryland just beat Rutgers. I mean, it's the bottom dweller of the Big Ten, but 48-7. And then Purdue's they're just struggling right now.
Okay. Memphis, 3.5-point favorite at Temple. I had it as Memphis as a 4-point favorite, so I was kind of right on the money with that one. Temple is the team that beat Maryland, but at the time looked like an impressive win. Looks less so now because of Maryland.
Yeah.
Memphis is just a good team. They're a real good team. They're probably going to play Cincinnati, I think, for the championship in the American Conference. I'm going to take, it's 3.5. It's pretty low. Temple does have a good defense, but I will take Memphis to cover.
Yeah, Memphis has just been scoring a ton of points. 52 last week against ULM. Against Navy, they scored 35. Against South Alabama, they scored 42. Against Southern, they scored 55. And Ole Miss, they won 15-10. So it's really been since that Ole Miss game that they won that they haven't scored any less than 35 points. So, and then Temple, it's tough to say with Temple, but Temple's just, they're not really putting much on the scoreboard as of late. So you got to think that Memphis can cover that easily. Okay.
Washington State is at Arizona State. Arizona State, a 2.5-point favorite. My math early on worked it out as Washington State being a 3-point favorite. At Arizona State, I think Arizona State has a great defense. I was a little bit on the fence with this one. I don't think Washington State loses 3 straight games. I think they have a bounce-back week. I think everybody's going to be putting money on Arizona State. I am taking Washington State.
Yeah.
I apologize for the coughing. I can't get over it.
And then, they beat Cal, but Cal was without is that the game that
Garber's got hurt?
Garber got hurt, yeah. I'll go against you on this one. I'll take Arizona State.
Okay. Texas Tech is at Baylor. Baylor, a 9-point favorite. I thought Baylor would be about 11-point favorite. Texas Tech surprisingly got the win against Oklahoma State. I think it has created a little bit of turmoil in Stillwater from what I've seen online today because everybody's kind of in shock that they lost that game. I think Baylor's for real. I think the top 25 ranking is legit. It's a home game for them. Give me them covering the 9, probably winning by 10.
So you've got Baylor?
I got Baylor.
Yeah, I'll take Baylor as well. I picked them this last week, and they didn't let me down, so I'll take them for 2 weeks in a row.
Iowa State is a 10-point favorite at West Virginia. My math had Iowa State as an 11-point favorite. Iowa State, not Iowa, by the way. What do you think?
Man, that 10 points. Did we lock it in at 10?
10.
I don't know. I don't want to overreact to the Texas West Virginia game just because, Austin Kendall throws 4 interceptions during that game and kept it relatively close, but Texas has some problems in pass defense. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the Oklahoma Texas game, but I'm not going to overreact here. I'll take Iowa State.
Okay, I am taking West Virginia to cover the 10, not to win, but to cover the 10. Iowa State traditionally has had problems in Morgantown, and I think that Iowa State's due for a close game. They've been kind of on a roll a little bit lately. So I think West Virginia keeps it really close. I think West Virginia has a real shot at winning this game, that nobody's going to think that they can win it. It might be a good money line bet, but I definitely have them covering. Maybe not winning, but I definitely have them covering.
I'm going to show you here. This is the game that I'm changing the day that we are filming. So I hate doing that because it always comes to bite me. But I don't know. I don't know. I think Texas has a lot more problems than and they still got 4 interceptions off of Austin Kendall, and I do not think he's the guy for West Virginia.
So are you sticking?
I'll stick with Iowa State.
Okay. Ole Miss is at Missouri. Missouri 8.5-point favorite. I had Missouri as a 12-point favorite before the spreads came out. Ole Miss isn't that good. Missouri, it's a home game. They've kind of been on a roll since they lost to Wyoming.
Yeah.
I think they can cover the 8.5. So give me Missouri.
Yeah, I'll take Missouri as well.
Okay. Louisville is at Wake Forest. Wake Forest 6.5-point favorite. I had Wake as a 4-point favorite before the spreads came out. Louisville kept it close. Did beat Boston College. It was a 2-point game. They were 4-point favorites. Wake Forest, I believe, still undefeated. And if they win this game, they're heading for a great game against Clemson coming up. Both teams undefeated if they can hold this one off. 6.5. I do think Wake Forest can get the win, but 6.5 is too much for me. Give me Louisville to cover the points.
I'll take West Virginia to score by a touchdown. Wake Forest to W. Yeah. I'll take Wake Forest to score by a touchdown.
Okay. Nebraska is at Minnesota. Minnesota 7-point favorite. Minnesota coming off a great win against Illinois where they scored, I think, 40. It's the first time they've beaten a team by more than 10 or more than 7 or something like that. It's at Minnesota. I had Minnesota as a 3-point favorite. So it's still up in the air what's going on with Adrian Martinez.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be back next week. I'm not for sure. From the get-go, I had Nebraska covering the points here. I'm going to take Nebraska.
Yeah. I have down Minnesota. I'm just going to stick with Minnesota. I'll just stick with them to win by a touchdown.
Okay.
Just Nebraska's burned me too many times. I've just picked them and
a lot of people bought into the hype. I mean, preseason, everybody thought they were going to win the Big Ten West and be playoff contenders. And apologize again for my coughing, and it's just been, I was one of them from the get-go. Said this is ridiculous. Nebraska's not going to be that good, and they're not. So, but I think, I still don't think Minnesota's any good. I mean, they haven't really played anybody yet. So. The common game here, they blew out Illinois. Nebraska barely beat Illinois. So I can see where people would want to take Minnesota.
Yeah, I've tried that transitive properties with other teams.
I'm going to, what I look at, I've stopped looking at stats. I'm going to go with what I see with my own eyes, my gut, because that always worked for me in the past. And since I've started going on stats, I've been horrible in my picks. So I'm going to stick with my gut. And I think Nebraska is better up front. I think if Adrian Martinez comes back, I think they can cover it, probably win the game. If he's not playing, I don't know. It's a toss-up. But I will take Nebraska.
Yeah, man, you're making me want to switch my pick here.
Don't listen to me. Go with your gut. Go with what you.
I'll stick with Minnesota.
Okay, next game. Arkansas is at Kentucky. Kentucky is a 7-point favorite. My math prior to the spreads had Arkansas as a 1-point favorite. I know it's at Kentucky. Kentucky has kind of lost themselves since losing to Florida.
Yeah.
Arkansas, I think, is kind of on the upswing a little bit. And, I don't know if Arkansas wins the game, but I definitely think they can keep it within a touchdown. So I'm going to take Arkansas in the points.
Yeah, and Arkansas hung with Texas A&M, which the jury's still out on Texas A&M.
Yeah.
We'll see how they play Alabama this week, but they're both teams are 2-3. Arkansas lost to San Jose State, which is usually a pretty good Group of 5 school, and then Kentucky's lost 3 straight. I got to think that they come out of that against Arkansas, and I don't know. It could be a close game, but I'll take Kentucky just for the sake of making a pick.
Okay, Washington is a 7-point favorite at Arizona. Washington lost to Stanford, of all people. Stanford. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Washington. They're no longer in the top 25. Arizona has not lost since that Week 0 loss to Hawaii. They have not lost since then, and they've won without Khalil Tate. So Arizona is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I got Arizona to cover the points and probably win the game, so give me Arizona.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona to keep it close at least. I don't know about... and watch Washington just come out and say that wasn't us last week.
Yeah.
But I'll take Arizona to keep it close at least.
Okay, Hawaii is at Boise State. Boise State, a 13-point favorite. prior to the spreads came out, I had Boise State as a 3-point favorite. So 13 is a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Boise State gets the win at home. I don't have them covering the third. I'm going to take Hawaii. I know beforehand I said I was going to take Boise State, but I'm going to take Hawaii.
Their defense is only giving up 16 points, and they're allowing only 305 total yards a game. Hawaii's putting up 480 a game. I know you're not looking at stats, but 16 points a game is pretty impressive. The last 4 games, they've kept teams under 20 points while scoring 14 against Marshall, 45 against Portland State. So I'll take Boise State in this. They're at home.
Okay.
We're getting pretty close to homecoming. I'm not sure if I doubt that would be homecoming, but I'll take Boise State.
Okay. Florida State is at Clemson. Clemson is a 26-point favorite. My math had it Clemson as an 11-point favorite. So I am taking Florida State and the points.
Man.
Florida State has gotten better every single week. We're still waiting on Clemson to show us something.
Yeah.
So I don't.
When I originally looked at this, I thought to take Florida State because 26 is still pretty high. And Clemson, they don't seem to cover. I mean, when they're supposed to cover.
Mm-hmm. Well, Clemson's got problems. I mean, the AP voters keep putting them at number 2. They're not even a top 5 team in my opinion. I mean, I don't believe that. Florida State is not a top 25 team.
It's all the love for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, they want him to be the best quarterback.
They want him to be, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's like they want Nebraska to win the Big Ten, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, so Clemson is not a national championship team this year. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
they're still going to win this game, but I mean,
Florida's given up 29 a game. I think they easily give up a lot more to Clemson. Clemson's given up 12 points a game. Man, and this one always seems to be a big build-up to this game. Clemson's coming off a bye week after that 1-point win to North Carolina. I'm going to take, I can't even say it, but I will take Clemson in this game.
Okay.
I'll take them.
All right, Michigan State
I'm going to regret that too.
Michigan State is at Wisconsin. Wisconsin a 10-point favorite. My numbers had Wisconsin as a 14-point favorite, so you would think I would automatically want to take Wisconsin. Except that Michigan State can stop the run.
Yep.
They can stop the run better than Northwestern, and you saw what Northwestern did to Wisconsin.
I was going to say, remember when Northwestern took away the run?
Right. So I don't think Michigan State gets this win, but 10 points is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Michigan State.
Yeah. The only reason I would be hesitant to take Michigan State is because just because sometimes they can't really it's hard for them to pump, just like Michigan. It's tough for them sometimes to put points on the board.
Yeah. You know the other thing too. I'm going to jump in here though. I'm going to switch. I'm taking Wisconsin to cover. The only reason is because I started thinking about Wisconsin's defense is not.
They're giving up 5 points a game.
Yeah, and Michigan State can't do anything on offense.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping there. I think this could be a low scoring game though, but because Michigan State can stop the run and Wisconsin, they can't throw the ball very well.
Yeah.
I mean, so if Jonathan Taylor can't run the ball, where's Wisconsin getting all their points? That's my thing. But yeah, on the flip side of that, Michigan State just can't do anything on offense.
They've only given up 29 points this year.
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
So I'll take Wisconsin to cover the 10, although I'm a little bit reluctant with that. So what do you got?
I'll take Wisconsin as well.
Okay. Next one, USC at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, 11.5-point favorite. I had them as 11-point favorite before the spreads came out, so I was right there on the money with that. USC has played well in almost every game except Washington, and they lost by 14. I think Slovis is back at quarterback. I think he's back.
I saw something that he was either getting close or.
So, and Notre Dame has had some tough games. They had Georgia, they had Virginia. Now they got to go play USC. They do get it at home. God, man, I'm taking all the underdogs, and I'm not sure that's a good thing to do, but I'm going to take USC to cover. Not to win, but to cover. I don't feel great about it, but, you know.
Yeah, and since the Georgia game, I mean, Notre Dame did beat Virginia, who we're finding out is pretty good. They beat Bowling Green 52-0.
That game doesn't mean anything to me.
Right, right.
That's like Michigan beating Rutgers.
I will take USC to keep it close.
Okay.
11.5 is quite a bit, so I'll take USC. I was on the fence on this one. It's one that I left blank, so I'll take USC as well.
Alabama is an 18-point favorite at Texas A&M. I had Alabama as an 11-point favorite. I don't know. What do you think?
I have down taking Texas A&M. I don't know. My gut is just to have it close. You know, it seems like this game is close a lot, and
it's at Texas A&M. You know, it's just Texas A&M's been what they hold Clemson to, like 24 or something like that. But Clemson's not that great this year. Alabama, just every week you pick them, they never cover.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but I know Saban and them they could care less about covering a point spread. But,
yeah.
You know, 18 doesn't seem that high given what it normally is with Alabama.
Alabama's also 29th in pass defense.
Yeah.
Let's see on rush defense.
I'm going to go ahead and take Alabama. I was on the fence. I initially thought Texas A&M. The more I think about it, though, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, they might hold A&M to 6 points or 9 points, and then they just got to score like 30. I mean, and I think that's easily doable against Texas A&M. So
yeah.
I think they can cover 18.
So it's 38th in the country for Alabama. That's pretty outside the norm for them.
Yeah.
To be, and I know offenses are getting a little bit more stout in the SEC. Everywhere in the country, offenses seeming to kind of take it over. But I will take, I'll take A&M. I'll stick with A&M on this to cover, but Alabama wins the game.
Okay, Penn State 3-point favorite at Iowa. I had Penn State as an 11-point favorite, so I am taking Penn State to cover.
I think Penn State's one of the more underrated teams. I think they're really, really good. I think not a lot of people are talking about them, so I'll take them to cover.
Okay, 2 more games. Oklahoma, 9.5-point favorite at Texas.
Too much.
I had Oklahoma as a 10-point. They opened at 10.5. It's down to 9.5 by the time we locked it in. This game is always extremely close, and this could be an offensive shootout. But, I mean, I don't see the winner winning by more than 3 or 6 points. So, I mean, I'm taking the underdog Texas. I don't know who wins the game, but I don't think it's more than 6.
I think realistically, that point spread should be no more than 6.5 to Oklahoma at this point.
Yeah.
Outside of the Big 12 championship game, since 2013, every game has been decided by 7 or fewer points. Yeah. So it's just a different game. I mean, it's rivalry week for both teams.
I think you're going to see Texas throw the ball a lot because they've just been shuffling running backs.
They do have a lot of injuries. Yeah.
They do have injuries. Sam Ehlinger is going to have to throw the ball a lot. If they run, it's going to be him. They held out Colin Johnston against West Virginia to save him for OU.
Yeah.
That tells you they're going to throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if I say, and so on the flip side of that, OU's got some issues on the offensive line.
They have their starting offensive tackles, both left and right side, have been injured the last couple of games. Eric Swinson might be back. I think he might be a little closer than Adrian Ely to coming back. But Bill Bedenbaugh, their offensive line coach, has had to kind of shift guys around. And it hasn't been
every game this year, Texas's D-line has gotten after the quarterback, even Joe Burrow and LSU.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow just made some outstanding, like getting away from the pressure and made some outstanding throws. But they have been able to put pressure on everybody they've played, West Virginia included. I think they're going to put pressure on Hurts, and I think he's going to have to throw the ball more than he has at all this year because he's relied a lot on his legs to this point. He's going to have to throw the ball. I mean, he's going to have to throw the ball.
I mean, nobody's been really seemed to slow him down. I mean, I think he rushes for probably over 100 this game again.
But they have not played anybody on the caliber of Texas yet.
Right.
So we don't really know.
Texas Tech had a decent D-line, and they kind of got after. And then UCLA was supposed to have a good D-line. But I do see him running the ball quite a bit in this game. I do think, and crazy, because I think the years just kind of swapped, Texas's pass defense has just been crazy bad this year. I think they're 124th in pass defense. I think they're 102nd in total, maybe. But they're up there in rush defense. So I do think that Jalen Hurts is going to scramble a lot in this game. Lincoln Riley will find ways, I think, to kind of get him moving, get the pocket moving for protection. And then if they need to, they have talented enough wide receivers, so does Texas, to be able to bring a couple more guys in to block and then, put not 4 out there, but 3 wide maybe. Okay. But I will take Texas to cover. I think Oklahoma wins the game, but I'll take Texas to cover.
All right, last game, Florida, number 7 Florida against number 5 LSU. LSU is a 12.5-point favorite. Wish I could quit coughing. LSU 12.5-point favorite. I had it when I worked it out as LSU being a 6-point favorite. This is the best defense that LSU is going to face so far this year. If Joe Burrow can manage 5 touchdowns against Florida, I mean, he's got to be the clear front runner for the Heisman. I mean, I think he is already. I know everybody doesn't agree with that, but for the purpose of picking, while I believe LSU still manages to get the win, 12.5 is a heck of a big point spread for a game like this. And Florida's offense has looked better under Trask, better than Frank's. I mean, he got knocked out, came back in the game, but Emory Jones got in when Trask got knocked out. And I'll tell you what, Emory Jones is a runner. He's a dual threat. He is talented. He's very good. He was committed to Ohio State, flipped at the last second to Florida. So either one of those quarterbacks is better than Frank's, and it just makes Florida's offense better. It makes them better as a team overall. Helps that defense get a break because they can keep the ball, on the field. So I'm a big LSU fan. I'll admit it. I want them to win, but I'm taking Florida and the points.
Yeah, I'm going to take
12
Florida
and a half
too.
Too much.
Florida's defense is among the best in the country right now, and LSU hasn't really played anybody since Texas, so they could be kind of lulled to sleep a little bit and get off to maybe not a hot start. Florida just played a really good team in Auburn this last week, and they won 24-13. Yeah. I do think that LSU will likely come out the winner in this one, but I think Florida keeps it closer than that.
It is. I mean, it's being played in Baton Rouge, and it's prime time. Place is crazy
College
down there.
Game day will be
very
there.
Hard place to go win a game.
Yeah.
And but that's why I think that's really the home field advantage is probably what gives LSU the advantage here. So anyway,
Dan Mullins was psyched after that game, and one of the coolest things is if you watch his interview after that game, your Florida fans will love this. We're talking about you. But you see a little bitty hand come up and touch his arm, and he reaches down and grabs his daughter and puts her up on his hip, and that was just cool to see as a dad myself of 2 little girls. It just kind of warmed my heart there.
Okay.
A little softy for that.
So that's our picks, 25 games. It's week 7. We'll see how we do. Hopefully we do a lot better than we have been.
Yeah.
We picked a lot of games differently, so one of us has to come out pretty good here.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to look good and somebody's not. So we'll see what happens. So I'll briefly mention, some people had said some things, made some comments, and I challenged some people like, well, give us your picks. And about 4 people did. I don't have the final tallies. I'll look at them. I don't want to call you out anyway, depending on how.
Probably beat me this week.
You probably beat us both, but I want to go back and look at those and see what happened. And if you guys want to post them, to our Twitter, or if you say it's okay, I mean, I'll add them up and put them up on our community, like our Facebook. It's not Facebook, but on our channel, the wall.
Yeah. The
wall. I've been posting a lot of stuff there. So. But anyway, so thank you guys. Thank you everybody for watching. I've made some salty comments to a few people about, we're going to be critical of teams, and you guys cannot take that personally. I mean, we're just, it's just what we do. We're,
I mean, I picked Texas this week, so for crying out loud, we're not biased.
Exactly, and Miami fans don't hate us, but you know, well, you picked Miami, didn't you? Or did you switch? I don't remember. I'll go back and look.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Please
run together.
subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the video. Hit that little bell to get notifications when our new videos come up. Go follow us on Twitter if you want to.
Let's get that count, the subscriber count up to 5,000 because we'll be doing another prize giveaway at 5,000.
Right. So that's it. On to week 8 after that. So enjoy next weekend's college football.